Well, he's basically an architect, but that label doesn't pin him down. He's a designer, artist, writer, thinker, futurist, and creator of the geodesic dome. If Buckminster Fuller isn't the captain of Spaceship Earth, well, he's at least the design engineer of it, and here he is, Buckminster Fuller. Known to friends as Bucky, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And your home is in Philadelphia.
No, my home is Spaceship Earth.
Which we're all on right now.
Yeah.
On this thing.
I've been around it 50 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that how many? You are, do you mind if we say your age? You are 88?
88, right.
Now, where did all this begin for you?
To make an experiment, to see what, if anything, a little penniless, unknown human being with a wife and child might be able to do effectively on behalf of all humanity that would be inherently impossible for any political state or private enterprise or a great religious system to do. But there's something unique to individuals. So as I said, I'm going to, number one, I'm going to see that each of the nations is preoccupied with its own nation. May have some allies, but it's looking out for itself. And the great private enterprise is looking out for how to make money within a certain amount of time. They're going to go out of business. And I saw then that nothing to stop me thinking about total planet Earth. I've been a regular United States naval officer, what you call line officer, USN. And so I said, I'm going to start then thinking about our total, I gave the name Spaceship Earth. So I think about the total resources and the total knowledge and how do we use those resources to run this ship so it's successful for everybody on board. So you're not thinking in the terms of nations.
But you look at the planet Earth as a spaceship.
Yeah.
Right.
We are. We better catch on. We are a spaceship. We're making 60,000 miles an hour around the sun right now. And doing so well it's not bumpy. You don't hear any noise. But we are a spaceship. And we're not going to get another one. And it's beautifully supplied to look out for people.
Well, what do you think of us trying to get into other parts of outer space, leaving our spaceship to go other places?
Just, I don't know what the other is. Anyway, you can, on the big ship, you can put over a lifeboat. and make a little sortie if you like to. And so, of course, it's all right for us to be doing some local exploring around us. But at any rate, the number one is a catch on the fact we really are a spaceship. And I found society not thinking that way. They tend to think space is something other than what we're doing.
What progress do you think you've made in your 55 years of telling people this?
Well, I didn't, number one, I said I wanted to make an experiment to see if an individual can be effective. That's 55 years ago, and you have me on your program like this. So I must have survived somehow or other.
You must be doing okay.
Anyway, I commit myself not to trying to persuade humanity to do anything, not to use politics, not to use religion, to work entirely in technology that would improve the environment for humanity on the basis that we could do enough with so little in our alloys and electronics and so forth. We may someday be able to take care of everybody, because the working assumption of all of our great political systems is that there's nowhere nearly enough life support on the planet for everybody. Therefore, you have politics, or what policy you're going to adopt, which are the ones who are going to have to starve. So I'm interested in how do we make what we have really work for everybody. And that got me into then developing what I call environment controls, geodesic domes, so forth.
What is a geodesic dome?
Geodesic dome is an omni-triangulated form. Spheres are triangles. We have parallels in our building, our construction members. They're not helping each other, but in triangulation, everything holds its shape. So when I developed the first geodesic domes, the largest domes in the world were both in Rome. St. Peter's, built in 1500, and Pantheon, built in the year 1. They were both 150 feet in diameter. When I built my first geodesic 150-footer, which is aluminum, completely closed, those domes in Rome weighed 30,000 tons each. My first dome weighed 30 tons, 1/1000th the weight for a given clear span. 1/1000th. This told me that I was really on the right track of doing more with less to really look out for humanity, because I found our building world is a very ignorant world, where nobody talks about how much buildings weigh. You talk about how much Queen Mary might weigh. You might talk about what the Boeing 747 would weigh, but we don't talk about our buildings that way because they're so absolutely wasteful. Anyway, you asked me what kind of progress I made. There are now over 300,000 geodesic domes around the world.
It's all from your idea.
Yeah.
Probably 300,000 of them?
300,000. There were over 100,000 just in the playgrounds where the kids are climbing on those triangles to find out what holds its shape.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's
You bet.
true. Yeah. We have a copy of your map, the Spaceship Earth map. I think we can get a shot of, but I mean,
I needed to have a map where there was no visible distortion. On the Mercator map, which you'll find in every school room, what they call a classic world map, you'll find Greenland is bigger than South America.
That's on the sphere.
It's an absolute lie. Otherwise, you think right now in our educational system, we don't think it's bad to lie to our children. But I needed not to lie to myself. I want to know if I'm really going to deal in total spaceship. I want to know what it looked like. So I found a way of taking off the sphere onto a plane without any visible distortion of the shape or size of any of the parts. So you can put the edges of that map together and it makes this form. You can compare it to any globe. You'll find no discrepancy whatsoever. So I have not only one world island and one world ocean there, which is very convenient, but also we have a condition where in the air age, things have changed. We used to go east and west in the sailing ship days. Today, we're going to unite humanity over the pole. On my mapping, 95% of humanity can reach each other on the shortest great circle air routes without going near the Atlantic or Pacific or Indian Ocean. Just staying entirely, that's what they call the sky ocean world.
What do you see us coming up with in the 1980s and 90s? The rest of the 80s.
We only have another 7 years of the 80s.
Right.
And I was thinking the next 3 years, more is going to go on historically than all the history of humanity before. We've known of humans being on our planet for 3 million years. We only know something about our history for only 8,000 years. But I expect more to go on this next 3 years. There's an incredible acceleration in human affairs, of information integration and so forth. Within the next 3 years, we're going to have to give up all nations. Evolution had humanity deployed, remote from one another. Now evolution is completely integrating them. The United States is not a nation. It's the most advanced phase of cross-breeding world man. It's now a new world we're coming up here.
Okay, well, thank you for coming by and seeing us. And you're going to be at Future World 83, the Future World Expo here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
For, what, the next couple days?
No, I was there today to meet the press and sign some books, and I'll be there on Saturday. Tomorrow I'll be speaking in Monterey.
Busy man. You ever want to slow down?
No.
No?
Why do you want to slow down?
Oh, not me. You got more energy than I've got.
The main thing about me is the following. I've been keeping track of how do you do more with less in the alloys, in chemistry, in electronics. And I find society doesn't know that because it's what we call invisible reality. But in 1970, we crossed a threshold when for the first time in all history, we could demonstrate engineering-wise that within a 10-year design revolution, taking the metals that are now being used in armaments, putting in what are called living rate, within 10 years we could have all humanity living the highest standard of living anybody's ever known. Within 10 years, on a sustainable basis, while phasing out forever all further use of fossil fuels and atomic energy. Now, I don't get very much enthusiastic support from the oil companies, and they own most of the media. So, but the point is that I now know for the first time in history, it does not have to be you or me, which is a working assumption of all political economics. The very essence of, I'm sorry to say, of how do you make money, to make the most money out of armaments and so forth. And that you keep up playing the game and making money out of armaments by keeping up the media saying we still nowhere nearly enough to go around. But as of 1970, we crossed the threshold, which means now enough for everybody, the highest standard of living anybody's ever known. So for the first time, history does not have to be you or me. That war is really obsolete for the first time. You ask me why I keep on going, because I know that this is so, and I know it very practically from my knowledge of developing geodesic domes around the world. We have them over the South Pole. We have one on top of Mount Fuji. There's one as close as you can get to the North Pole. They're everywhere ringing the Earth, but they're always in the places where nothing else would do. At the South Pole, for instance, where the winds are 180 miles an hour, you have to have something very, very powerful to be able to be covered with snow and take 6 times the snow load of the Arctic snow load. Anyway, we do have domes in those places, and they all go on there by air. You do so much with so little, they deliver these domes by air. The one over the South Pole went down in one Navy plane, 140-foot diameter.
Well,
Stainless steel and aluminum. So the point is that I know what I'm talking about. The first time you've ever had on your program, been able to tell you that we now have the capability to take care of all humanity. Humanity has an option, and it doesn't know it because the capability to do so is in the world of invisibility, of chemistries and electronics. 99.9999% of everything is going to affect our lives tomorrow is being conducted in the realms of reality, non-directly contactable by the human senses.
I don't know how you keep it all together, but keep trying to get the word out, okay? Thank you very much.
Right.
Buckminster Fuller.